What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to have a look at a Game Week 30 free hit team. I personally am not going to be playing my free hit because I think I have at least 10 players out. It was going to be 11, but it looks like Luca Dean is going to be unavailable for that Game Week 30 fixture after going off injured against West Ham in Game Week 29. But I know a lot of you are considering playing your free hit in Game Week 30. So I'm going to talk you through at the moment what my free hit team would look like if I was to play it. Hopefully a few things that you can take whether you're on your free hit or not, and look at the players that you could potentially transfer in if you are not on free hit as well. Diving straight into it, of course, we start off in goal. I've gone with Sarr and Meslier as my two goalkeepers. Now, Meslier is going to sit on the bench. Sarr is the one who's going to start. It's worth noting that when you play a free hit that doesn't have to include Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, that you can afford pretty much as strong a bench as you want. So I have gone with Meslier because Wolves don't score a lot of goals, but Sarr will be the one that is starting in goal for me. I could have gone Ramsdale, but I like the Arsenal defence and midfielders more than I like the Leeds defence, for example, or the Wolves defence. So I've gone with Sarr here because I think he can make a few saves. He's very good for bonus points as well as that. So he's in there with Meslier as my two goalkeepers. First up in the defence for player to sit on the bench is Luke Thomas of Leicester. Seems to be playing at left back for them. It is a game against Brentford, which could be good for them. He has some attacking threat, although he's likely to sit third on the bench. It's just combining a good fixture with a defender that has the ability to get some attacking return as well, although Leicester have not been that great defensively, hence why I think he'd probably sit on the bench if you did play your free hit. Next up, we've got Killman. Now, again, you could decide to start Killman, and we'll go on to who's starting and who's on the bench later in the video. But again, he looked really good in Game Week 29. He got 2 bonus points as well as a clean sheet. There was a bit of concern about whether he'd come back into that Wolves lineup after he got benched in Game Week 28. I did actually sell him going into that game week thinking that he wouldn't start, but he would have been on my bench anyway, so not too worried about that. But yeah, I think he's a good option. He's nice and cheap as well. Cody did score, but Cody doesn't tend to score that much, and without goals I think Killman is better for bonus points, which is why I've gone with him. I expect him to retain his place given they did keep a clean sheet in Game Week 29. I wouldn't worry about him dropping out of that lineup again. So he's in there. Again, he's not that explosive, so you may want to bench him, you may want to start him when you look at the rest of the squad, but he's one of those borderline picks, but I have gone in there as well as Sarr in the defence. Next up, we've got Matt Doherty, who's at home to West Ham. Now, West Ham are likely to be without a few key players going into this fixture. Bowen, of course, we know is injured and unlikely to be back for that Game Week 30 fixture. Antonio went off with an injury in Game Week 29, as did Cresswell. 3 of their sort of main goal creators and goal threats are going to be injured. So I do think there's a good chance of a clean sheet for Tottenham. And we know what Doherty is capable of doing from an attacking point of view as well. Didn't get anything in the first game against Manchester United in Game Week 29, but in the 2 previous game weeks as well, he's been very attacking, and I do think that right wing back spot for Tottenham is his to lose now. Again, I think he should start that fixture. Again, you'll have a strong bench in case he doesn't play, but I do think it's worth covering that Tottenham defence given how high owned they could be, and the attacking threat that Doherty has is definitely the one that I would go with. Next up in the defence, we've gone with Tierney away at Aston Villa. So I haven't gone Ramsdale in goal because I wanted to go for one of the Arsenal defenders because I like them from an attacking point of view more than I like the Wolves defence from an attacking point of view. A Villa away fixture, a team that actually are scoring quite a few goals, which is why I haven't really doubled up on the Arsenal defence because I do think there's a good chance that there is a goal from Aston Villa in this game. But Tierney does have the attacking threat. You could also go with Gabriel as well. The Arsenal defence will be really highly owned, so I do again think it's worth covering it, but I don't think going in for double defence is really worth it given how well Aston Villa have been attacking in recent game weeks. Last up in the defence, we've got Matty Cash. So again, he is playing against Tierney, and although I expect Arsenal to score in this game, again, we're trying to pick attacking fullbacks in this free hit because I don't necessarily think there are going to be a lot of clean sheets to go in Game Week 30, so you've got to pick defenders that you think are likely to get some attacking returns. It looks unlikely that Luca Dean is going to be available, so we have gone with Matty Cash, who's actually got quite a few attacking returns in recent weeks playing on that right-hand side. Again, Cash, Tierney and Doherty, although I don't necessarily expect clean sheets from the 3 of them, maybe Doherty, but is the attacking threat that you can get with them from their goals, from their assists as well, that really make them the 3 that I've gone with. But again, I don't expect that many clean sheets to come in Game Week 30, so we have gone with 3 options that I think might be able to get some attacking returns if they do all start this week. So that is the defence, but I think the most exciting part of the free hit is definitely the attack. So moving first off into the midfield, the first one we've gone is Son. So again, with the no budget restrictions, you don't need to go for Kulusevski. You can go for the big midfield in Son. I do think he's a better option than Kulusevski, although he didn't get anything in game week 29. I would go with Son over him. He's on set pieces. He's nailed to start. There's always a chance that Lucas Moura comes into that Tottenham starting lineup over Kulusevski. The goal threat is there. I think West Ham will try and attack. Son on set pieces as well. I think it's a no-brainer if you want a free hit to go and get Son. Next up in the midfield, we have Bukayo Saka of Arsenal. Again, one of those no-brainer picks. Yes, he is playing against Cash, but as I said, I don't really expect that many clean sheets, which is why I haven't doubled up on any defense in this free hit. Saka comes in. He's one of the most informed players. Now, this is being recorded before the Arsenal game, so if there is an injury, I'll probably have to re-record this video so you won't be seeing it, but hopefully he gets some points because he is in my team, as he's in a lot of your teams as well. It's a good fixture away at Villa. I do think Villa have looked worse defensively in recent weeks. Now, without Dean and Ashley Young coming into the lineup, maybe they're a bit more assured defensively, but they did still concede twice to West Ham, so I do think there's a good chance for some Arsenal goals in this one. Next up, of course, Coutinho's in there again. Probably the main goal threat at the moment for Aston Villa, playing against an Arsenal defence who are normally quite solid defensively. But given that it's at home for Aston Villa, I do think there's a good chance of some returns in this for Coutinho. He didn't get anything in game week 29, but that's a bit of an anomaly given how he has performed in recent game weeks as well. So Coutinho's in there alongside Saka and Son. I'd say 3 no-brainer picks if you're on a free hit that I would definitely try to include. Now, next up, we've got Harvey Barnes. So this is a bit of a differential because people not on free hit won't really be looking at the Leicester assets. They'll be trying to cover some of those more highly owned options that maybe we've gone through so far. However, I really like Barnes at home to Brentford. Brentford have looked good in recent weeks, but that's because they've had a couple of easier fixtures. I do expect there to be goals in the Leicester-Brentford game, and I think Barnes is the most nailed on to play. We don't know if Maddison is going to be fit and available, and we don't know who's going to be playing up front. Vardy is out, but it could be easily Iheanacho or Daka that comes into the lineup, so I don't really want to go there. And Barnes has looked good. He's had 2 assists and a goal in his last 3 appearances, again recording before the Arsenal-Leicester game, so he could get something in there, but I do think he is definitely the Leicester attacker that I would want to go with. He also gets an extra point for a goal and a clean sheet on top of the strikers as well. And finally, in the midfield, we've got Rafinha. So now, again, it's a pretty strong squad, but because there's no Salah, because there's no Trent, you are able to fill your squad with a 15-man roster so that you can bench them and have a strong bench if anything does happen or if there are any postponements or any big injuries that we don't know before the deadline. He is away at Wolves, which is away against Sarr, our goalkeeper, but Rafinha has not looked that great in recent weeks, but he will still be quite highly owned going into this fixture. He did pick up an assist late against Norwich, which I was so happy that he got finally, although I did probably expect more against Norwich. He hit the post and bar so many times that 5-point return is probably not as much as I hoped from him, but still in there. I think it's a very strong midfield. I don't know who else I'd want to get in there. Potentially Martinelli, but I'm very happy with the 5 that you could own if you were on a free hit this week. Now, moving up front, the first one we pick, of course, is Harry Kane. No doubt about this. Kane comes in with Son and Doherty to be my Tottenham triple up. Given the injuries that there have been to that West Ham team in recent weeks and in game week 29 as well, as we spoke about, I think going for a Tottenham triple up with these 3 is a bit of a no-brainer. Kane is on such good form recently that he is probably going to be the most owned and most captain player this week, and definitely one you'll want to own going into this free hit. Next up in the forward line, we've gone with Tony, who has scored 5 goals in the past 2 matches. Again, we do have Thomas in the defence, but he is going to be benched going into the game week because I do think Brentford have a good chance of getting some goals in this match. Tony, again, on penalties, but also from open play. He's looked really good, been the main goal threat that they've got. Leicester have been leaking goals as well, so I do think there's a good chance for a fair few attacking returns from the Brentford team. I think this will be a high-scoring game between Leicester and Brentford, so I have gone with Barnes and Tony in there as well. You could, if you wanted to save money, go for the likes of Eriksen or Mbeumo, but as we know, the midfield options this season are so great compared to the forward options, so I think Tony is the one in here. Now, up front to combine with him, I've gone with Lacazette, so we have got an Arsenal triple up. I do think that there is a good chance that Martinelli is also a good pick, or Odegaard in the midfield, but again, with the amount of midfielders that we want to own, I have gone with Lacazette because of the amount of poor forwards that there are in the game this season. He is pretty nailed to start because of the lack of options that Arsenal really have in that position. The one I haven't included here, we don't have Watkins and we also don't have Jimenez. Now, Jimenez does have a good fixture against a Leeds side, which do tend to leak goals, but I think there's more of a chance, given the form that Jimenez is in. He's only scored 1 goal in his past 4 appearances and hasn't started every game as well, that I wouldn't want to take that gamble, and I would go against him if I was on a free hit. So this is the full 15-man squad, but in terms of who I would bench if this was me, I would line up like this with a 3-4-3. This would mean that we would be benching Thomas, Killman and Rafinha as well. So actually not that much involvement in that Wolves game despite having quite a few of them in my team. Those three would be on the bench. Probably Rafinha first sub, then Killman, then Thomas. Of course, in terms of captaincy, there's no one else. It would be Harry Kane for the captaincy armband. Probably Son with the vice, unless you wanted to look at a different game. So in case something happens there, you have a bit of coverage. In which case, I'd probably look at either Barnes or Saka to be my vice captain. I do think that Barnes is a great differential pick if you are on a free hit. Let me know your thoughts on this free hit draft, as well as any questions about your team generally in the comment section down below. I would love to help. If you have enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications as always. There's plenty of videos to come, as well as live streams to hopefully get you the best rank you possibly can this FPL season. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back again very soon.